We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
GDP slows, debt ceiling increase passes the House, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Growth in the United States slowed considerably during the first 3 months of the year as interest rate increases and inflation took hold of an economy largely expected to decelerate even further ahead. GDP rose at a 1.1% annualized pace in the first quarter. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been expecting growth of 2%. The growth rate followed a fourth quarter in which GDP climbed 2.6%, part of a year that saw a 2.1% increase. The report from the Commerce Department also showed that personal consumption expenditures price index, an inflation measure that the Federal Reserve follows closely, increased 4.2%, ahead of the 3.7% estimate. High inflation and slow growth is sometimes described as stagflation, which characterized the late 1970s and early 1980s in the U.S. economy. The Fed is expected to raise interest rates again at its next meeting. House Republicans narrowly passed a bill on Wednesday that would raise the debt ceiling while cutting federal spending and rolling back major parts of President Biden's domestic agenda. Congress must raise the borrowing limit soon to keep the U.S. Treasury from defaulting on its bills, which would be catastrophic for the economy. The House legislation, which passed 217 to 215, would raise the debt ceiling and repeal Biden's programs to combat climate change and forgive some student debt. "We've done our job," House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said, adding that Biden can no longer ignore negotiations with House Republicans. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office stated that the bill, as passed, will cut the deficit by $4.8 trillion. The United States and South Korea agreed to cooperate on planning a U.S. nuclear response to a potential North Korean attack, President Biden and South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol said after meeting at the White House. Washington will give South Korea more influence in consultations in exchange for agreeing not to pursue its own nuclear weapons. The U.S. also will send nuclear-armed submarines to South Korea for the first time in decades. Yoon's state visit came after leaked classified documents indicated that the U.S. had intercepted conversations among members of South Korea's National Security Council concerning U.S. pressure to provide artillery shells to Ukraine, despite a South Korean policy against arming military forces engaged in active wars. Former Republican Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson on Wednesday formally announced that he is running for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. "In this campaign for president, I stand alone in terms of my experience, record, and leadership," Hutchinson said in prepared remarks shared with Fox News Digital. "From Congress to DEA to Homeland Security, I have served our country in times of crisis. As governor of Arkansas, we cut taxes and created record surpluses," Hutchinson said at a lunch event in his hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas. That his mettle has been tested, Hutchinson said. His record shows he's a consistent conservative. Hutchinson, who left office in January due to term limits, joins a growing field dominated by former President Donald Trump. Pope Francis has approved a change giving women the right to vote at the upcoming Synod of Bishops. a periodic meeting of the world's Catholic bishops to make decisions on church policy, the Vatican announced on Wednesday. The historic move reflects Francis's hopes to give women greater decision-making responsibilities and lay people more say in the life of the Catholic Church, according to NPR. Catholic women's groups that have long accused the Vatican of treating women as second-class citizens praised the change. This is a significant crack in the stained glass ceiling and the result of sustained advocacy, activism, and the witness of Catholic women's groups demanding the right to vote, said Kate McKelvey of the Women's Ordination Conference, which advocates letting women become Catholic priests. Britain's antitrust regulator said it was blocking Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard, saying the deal would lead to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come. Microsoft already has 60% to 70% share in cloud gaming globally, and the $69 billion acquisition would have made it even stronger, according to the UK Competition and Markets Authority. Antitrust regulators in other countries also are trying to disrupt what would be one of the tech industry's biggest deals. The Federal Trade Commission in the U.S. filed a lawsuit in December seeking to thwart Microsoft's takeover of the game maker. A hearing in that case is scheduled for August. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.